If you've come for best depictions of mental illness, you have come to the wrong place. If you've come for best films, you've come to the wrong place. In 1954, a US Marshal investigates the disappearance of a murderer who escaped from a hospital for the criminally insane. From the writer of Terminator Genisys and Attila Battle Angel, and directed by Martin Scorsese, Shutter Island is one of IMDb's top-rated movies, and I was indeed puzzled. Whilst it is a good film, it is not a stand-up one at all, not even within the subgenre of psychological thriller. Let's get the third act twist out of the way, because that was the crucial linchpin which snapped. I found it to be far-fetched, and though it was telegraphed well enough, the twist was near absurd. DiCaprio's character being a mental patient and the whole plot being part of an elaborate psychoanalytic experiment just simply was not sold to me. The amount of risky situations the patient went through and put others through were too many, I found, for Ben Kingsley's character to allow. He might be an eccentric psychiatrist, but he himself is not a psychotic, and anything short of would mean he would have called this whole thing off a while back. So what though? Did I like the film up to that point? Well, the references to MK Ultra and McCarthyism I thought were really cute and added some much needed spice to a story that I thought was teetering on becoming cliche at times. DiCaprio is not on top form, but I still found his performance to be bold, not intentionally phoned in, just unfocused. Performances are decent overall, but none are really that good either. The only emotionally affecting scenes I found were the concentration camp flashbacks, which I found to be the most effective of the entire film, whether they were illusions or not. The bodies frozen in ice, that arresting tracking shot, the best of the entire picture, showing the camp cars lined up and gunned down by incensed GIs. All of it was very, very effective. However, this is probably due to the historical context. When Daniels' kids are drowned and he kills his wife, I don't know, it just didn't have the weight it should have. Overall, Shutter Island is a good effort, but it's not one that matches up to the reputations that Scorsese and DiCaprio had previously set for themselves in their respective careers. This is one of the weakest of their collaborations, I find. Stereotypes of the mentally ill, dated cinematic devices, and a forced period setting makes for an experience that is underwhelming considering the talent involved. A dangerous schizophrenic murderer escapes from Broadmoor Hospital and embarks on a murderous rampage across London. But when he takes a hostage, the deadly game of cat and mouse truly begins. The London can't film, Gov, can't, Gov. Too many to note, too many to get ashamed about. The kind of films that only get made because some guy lives next door to someone's agent who then knows a guy who knows another guy who can get a production house discount. A film made out of convenience rather than enthusiasm, and that is evident from how painfully slow Deviation is. I mean, fuck! Nothing happens in this film, at all. Danny Dyer, in one of the most miscast roles of his cinematic career, takes a nurse hostage and just terrifies them for the next 90 minutes. Cue some chintzy hope spots and run-ins from superfluous and poorly acted supporting characters, artless cinematography, and an oversaturated colour palette. Deviation is just as terrible as its one sheet suggests. Danny Dyer was brought onto this production, it seems, just for the purely economic reasons, and the film suffers greatly from this choice. Dyer is good at playing a certain type, but that type sure as shit an unquote schizophrenic, complex killer. Dyer is terrible in this film, and Anna Walton doesn't fare so well either as his co-star. They are not helped by the insipid screenplay, which incites no engaging drama, and its social commentary is lazy and has no value apart from unintentional parody. Deviation is a cheap psycho thriller with an awful central performance from Dyer, who admittedly only had lazily written and poorly researched material to work with in the first place, and is just as irrelevant now as it was 8 years ago on release. Angel was horribly abused by her grandmother as a little girl and institutionalized after killing her. Though sentenced for the rest of her life to an insane asylum, Angel was released due to inside governmental pressure, while being pronounced dead in order to avoid public outcry. Now, Angel's on the loose again, and a government agent is ordered to kill her in order to cover up the blunder. But soon they realise that hell hath no fury, like a scorned angel. Angel is a film based on a novel, and that is evident in some places, as overwrought is not enough to describe some of this film's dialogue. Truly awful. The whole U-Tree-inspired conspiracy plot is tawdry and poorly researched. Sure, some psychobabble about the effects of child abuse in this film might be true, but it's all arse-covering nonsense in the end, as it's used as just a timely origin story for the titular psycho-killer bitch with superhuman strength and a level of convenient intuition Tom Clancy would be proud of. Crap. Can I keep saying that? Of course, it's my review. This film is utter crap. I don't even know why this story is combined with some spooks-like shit involving some terrorist hunters getting involved in a cover-up. I would say the combination of psychodrama and conspiracy spy thriller was quirky, but quirky would suggest the film has charm, which it doesn't. The oddly specific social commentary in Angel I found to be unneeded, like most of the stuff in the film. Sure, a few little references to real-life events will further legitimise our plot, said writer, director, TV actor Ray Burdis to himself. Probably. But it didn't. It's just esoteric and immersion-breaking due to how poorly written it is. What else to say? The film looks really cheap. Like all poor adaptations, narrative's focus is scattershot around secondary and tertiary characters, as well. The acting ranged from panto to pushing too hard for a shit. Was there a soundtrack here? I can't honestly remember. Angel is complete shite. It's tabloid sensationalism, only without the patronising entendres, and is not as fascist. Though it does have a good go at it. An intriguing premise ruined by an abysmal execution. Right, I reckon I can wrap this video up faster than it takes Tory public sector cuts to close down another mental health clinic. Let's give it a go! Shutter Island has some good moments, but otherwise it's just an average psycho thriller. Deviation is one of Danny Dyer's worst films, and that's sure as fuck saying something. Finally, Angel is an abysmal, and dare I say even insulting affair that takes true life scandals and clumsily implements them into a poorly constructed potboiler. 3 low to shit films that have no fucking clue what they're talking about.